New event, new me. P-Chan kicking off event 2 as Gold Mario, maybe looking to bring that mentality to the track that he truly is good as Gold. A little inconsistent in event 1, but truly one of the best racers out there when he brought his A game. But Baby Park is a tough one to start on. This track can eat the best racers alive because it is full of chaos, and we look at a great example of it. A single bomb changing the entire event. Rudy blown up in it. And as we see Pup Nerd late to the party, and thankfully so, it's fashionable to be late in this case. Nerd flying around that corner and jumping up into second place when an explosion took out so many other racers. Astatine up front. And this is just such a great example of the mindset that you need to be a great racer. This track, as silly as it looks, it really sums up all of those intangibles that make a racer sort of separate them from good to great. We look at Astatine blown up. Some people start panicking, especially when you got 11 hungry racers behind you, all equipped with items. He keeps cool, he keeps calm. Great item work, protecting himself going in. He maintains that first place. You got to race fast, but there's also that mental element. And look at this, P-Chan flying in there, the star, the mushroom, stealing second place from Nerd, who has a very solid event. And Nerd in third is something that, I mean, we might get used to saying. He's really proven that he is a podium threat every single time he's out there. A great face to see coming in fourth, Carly, a fan favorite, and thanks to her, we were treated to Coconut Mall in the last event, something that really got the fans excited. People are racing through the mall. What kind of stuff is going on there? But look at this, Rudy. He survives the bomb, he comes back, and that's showing a little mental toughness as well. I mean, we talked about the mental fortitude of Astatine, but just finishing that event at all, boy, it can take out the best racers, that track for sure. But looking at this, Nerd, P-Chan, and Astatine 1, 2, 3. Papa Oof, we saw, if you had a keen eye, they're racing as Luigi right now. They got blown up with a red shell. That bomb doesn't happen. Who knows? They could have blown up Astatine in first. They could have flown in there, but this is the world we live in. The reality is that, not their best race in terms of the results, but that chaos eats up the best of the best sometimes. And we'll see if they can repeat what they did in event 1, or if that was kind of a one-off. And this event, they're going to be coming in 7th, or, who knows where else. But it's going to be exciting to see if they can bounce back. Let's look at the next event. We start things off at Music Park, opening corner chaos. Steph blown up by a red shell, and Astatine and Papa Oof targeted as well. Top Racer's not safe right now, and if you thought it would get easier, you've never tried to drive around a piranha plant. Those things can bite hard. Astatine, the first sign that they are human and not an AI-powered driving machine. Falling off the track, a little humanizing blooper, but you know that they are going to be driving mad, kicking themselves for that mistake. But look at P-Chan, he's looking good, flying in there in gold. But as we enter the second lap, Astatine, they've got to start. They're battling for second, but as you can see, Steph way, way, way up in front, and they are just looking nearly unstoppable. Papa Oof trying to pass, gets bumped into that piranha plant, and they're just, boy oh boy, they are flying around out there. They're looking good, but as you see, sometimes you drive well, and a snipe from a green shell, those are always tough. A snipe gets them, and that's just the way it goes. Steph way up in front, but a blue shell might be enough to slow him down. And P-Chan, just with the star before the shock, they've got a chance to come and get that first place from Steph. They're not going to do it, but right behind them, Astatine was right on the chase as well, and that big bomb blew them up. As you see, as they're coming into that third lap, they're racing angry. They don't have that same mental fortitude they did on the Baby Park, and you can see that they're not focused on the right things, falling back a little bit. But Steph up in front, they are looking so good, and it's been almost 3 laps of domination by them at this point. They're flying around this corner, and they just kind of lose it. But they have a little gift for Astatine, who is right on their tail. And boy, he is just having a tough time out there. Can't catch a break. But Steph flying out there. Can she hold on for first place? P-Chan right behind her. And he is just not quite able to hold on. A great race all around, but as you can see, starts falling back as the pack tries to overpower him. Papa Oof in second place, bouncing back huge. P-Chan all the way into 8th place. They race so well, but sometimes it's just not reflected on the score sheet. Astatine, a respectable 3rd place. And this is just very interesting. As Astatine, Steph, and Nerd 1, 2, 3 is looking good. But Papa Oof also tied for 2nd place. And it is just showing the level of talent that is at Shopville. There is no clear favorite after Astatine so far. He's raced sort of at that slight next level, but everybody else, it just feels like number 2 and 3 are up for grabs. So Steph flying around out there, just looking so great, but of course their kryptonite, it is cows, it is cars. You know, if they're not driving into either of those, they're about as fast as you can see on pavement. But that is their kryptonite for now. But when they tighten things up, and maybe we'll see in the next week upcoming, when they can tighten things up, they might just be the best racer out there. But speaking of best, Astatine in first place. Who's getting tired of hearing that? But up in first place, your reward sometimes is a world of hurt. The things that these racers' bodies go through. Takes a blue shell, and here comes Papa Oof back in toad form. Flying in there, looking great. And you're going to see an absolute battle unfold here. Some of the most fun stuff that we've seen on the track. A boombox blows up Toad, and you think he might be out of it, but a beautiful bomb throw blows up Astatine, and these two titans are going back and forth. And this is something that going into the 3rd lap, we're just going to see unfold. Blown up by that blue shell. The lightning might help just a little bit. They get to keep going forward. Everybody else behind them is slow. And they just, both Astatine and them, get back to full size going into the final corner. And look at this. This is crazy to see. I've seen items blow people up, but let's look at what Papa Oof does. Blows him up into a car. Knocks him in there, but unfortunately hits it himself. Astatine, so smart on the track. That's that mindset. He finds the boost pad. You might have thought that he was coming in first, but it's NQ Winters. And look at them flying in there with the bullet. They're capitalizing. You can see a crash happening right there, and they just find a way to steal first place. You love to see it. And Rosalina, a classic character. Great choice, looking good, and they jump up into 5th place. So close with their idol, Steph. Papa Oof in 3rd place and Nerd in 2nd. It is as tight as it gets. Anyone but between P-Chan up to Nerd could finish 2nd in this event. Nerd, Papa Oof, Steph, NQ Winters all have that outside chance of threatening for first, but with the way that Astatine is raced, it would be very, very hard to realistically do that. But let's go. A beautiful rainbow road to end off the first week. Go to the final event. Steph looking to set a, I guess not land speed, but space speed record. They're looking great out there, and they're blowing up Nerd with that red shell. When you remove their kryptonite, cows, cars, things like that, they look pretty much unstoppable on the track. It's impressive stuff to see. And Rudy, a little deja vu. It's just like the first event. They find themselves in a familiar spot, a bomb blowing them up. But moments after, they regain their composure. They've got a beautiful boombox, and then they get the gift of 3 red shells. If you give these to a first timer, they'll make a little bit of damage, but give them to a pro like Rudy, that's maximum carnage right there. Speaking of maximum carnage, a beautiful bomb throw. And you got to speak to so many bomb throws that we saw in this event, and in the event before. There's a lot of talent there. These bomb throws are not easy, and to hit a target, even a big one, it impresses me a lot. It's not something you see every day, and it's a joy to watch. Steph flying around out there. I spoke a little too soon. They find a way to get bumping into something. It's just that finding a little fine tuning, and as you see, these things add up. You know, you lose half a second, and all of a sudden that shell that would have come for somebody else hits you. Speaking of fine-tuning, look at this battle. Carl's up there with Nerd, and it's just, once again, those small things. You hit the boost pad in the wrong way. All of a sudden you go from an epic first place battle to something that is a little bit further back, and you look back and this is sort of looking and seeing Rudy flying in there with those red shells from earlier. Going into lap 3. Nerd all the way up in first alone. He's looking great. The red shell hits him. Okay, he's got protection now. Another red shell, thankfully, is avoided, but here comes the blue shell. And now all of a sudden things are getting a little bit tighter. Nerd still in first, and this is where it gets a little tough to watch. Just that inside drifting bike not working out for them on this tight track, and they fall off. And all of a sudden, Papa Oof, Astatine, Steph, they're up in first place. They're battling. Carl's up there too. And this is just going to be an incredible finish potentially in this final lap. Papa Oof flying around out there. Reno behind them. Babinski behind him. And Papa Oof is able to get this clutch first place. And they get a beautiful finish to the event. I mean, they have raced so well. Absolutely so well. Next up, we see Babinski, aka Reno, looking good out there. And when you drive a car like that, a lot of the other cars look like they're built for the track. This looks like a personal car and a bruiser's car, no doubt. He just squeaks out of second place. Nerd in third. Did I say that is going to be something we hear a lot of? We see how Steph finishes this. They have a tough time with that corner. Once again, hitting it, coming in 8th place. And Astatine, let's look and see how he finished this event, because if he really fell off, maybe Papa Oop had a chance to come in first, but he's just good enough. He gets that 6th place, and it is just going to be enough for him to hold on to first. An incredible first 2 events from him. Carly, they looked great. They had so many fantastic moments, but at the end of the day, they just fall off the track a little bit too much on here, and that really sets them back. But racing so well. Astatine barely able to hold on to first. This time not quite as dominant, but still Papa Oof right on his tail, and Nerd in third. NQ Winters in 4th place. Just absolutely brilliant racing all around from everybody here. And as we look and see the final results, we see that Astatine, 30 points between the 2 events. 2 first places. Papa Oof, 2 second places. Nerd, 2 thirds. Everybody else kind of shimmying for position, but Steph with a real opportunity next week to potentially jump onto the podium if they have some strong races. Could also see Papa Oof. They still have that chance to get that first place overall in the individual standings. And we have a lot of great racers. Babinski, P-Chan, Winters. I mean, Carly even. I'm just excited to see what goes down next week, because it is wide open as to who are the best racers still. But we look at the individual standings. Astatine, Papa Oof, and Nerd, each same positions in event 1 and 2, first, second, and third. Those guys have it locked in. Steph, NQ Winters, P-Chan, and Babinski, they're all just showed really high highs. Astatine, Papa Oof, and Nerd both getting first, second, and third in their respective events 1 and 2. And then Steph and NQ Winters, P-Chan, Babinski. I mean, we are so spoiled with the talent here. I mean, Astatine did show that they are that next level. Papa Oof was right. I mean, the battles that we saw between them. And then Nerd, just some incredible first place finishes and solid racing all around. But then when you have the people in the 4th and 5th, I mean, you saw it. I mean, there was incredible highs from them, and it's just about that consistency, especially with Steph. When Steph figures out how to just fine-tune things, and I am not going to be surprised if they come into week 2 with just a little bit more focus, a little bit more, finding those perfect corners. They probably have practiced And boy, I don't know. I might be going out on a limb here, but I think Steph could have a first place. They could really be threatening Papa Oof and Astatine for that first place in one of the events coming up. So I'm just excited to see what happens and can't wait to watch more good racing. It's very soon. Very soon.